Hello and welcome to the No Bones Podcast. This is your UFC 299 preview show. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Rich.
As we approach the huge UFC 300 event, this is the penultimate show and it is in danger of overshadowing it with possibly the greatest lineup we have ever seen. We've got Fight Night headliners on the prelims, and I for one cannot wait for the Suga Show and friends to roll into Miami this weekend, for it's surely going to be an event to remember. So, let's start with the Trans Barbie himself. Admittedly, one of my favourite fighters, giving it a shot, rectifying the only loss on his record. I think you know where I'm going to go, boys, but I want to know where you guys are on not only this fight, but the future of the bantamweight division. I think Mr. Johnson has got some strong views on this. What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Suga Sean.
No.
That's not what you were saying a minute ago.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
not what you were saying a minute ago. You trying to tell me he's overrated? Make your case, man. Make your case, because I've got a case otherwise.
Yeah, I just feel like he's been a bit lucky last few fights.
Yeah, I
Against
think so.
Pete,
Well.
and I think he scraped through with a split decision.
I agree,
It
probably
could've
skate
gone
through
either
that, but how are you lucky
I think
about
actually
knocking
lost
out
that as
with
well.
a performance fight of the year of the longest running bantamweight champion of all time? How do you validate that being lucky?
Yeah, I just think it was a lucky punch, to be honest with you.
Get the fuck out.
I think the guys coming up in that division, Young Sadong and all that.
I got your back, Sugar.
Yep.
No, he fundamentally wiped him out, didn't he, Aljo?
No, yeah. On a serious note, Sugar Sean O'Malley has got his doubters. He's also got his fans. I mean, the UFC love him. The younger fans, let's say, love him because of his personality, because of his fucking pink hair and his Lamborghinis and all stuff like that. He's a draw for UFC. Dana loves him. There's absolutely no doubt about that. He's an American version of Conor McGregor or anything like that. But as a fighter, I really rate him as a fighter. I know people are indifferent on that, so let's get stuck into that. Obviously, you're not as sure. What about you, Rich? Where do you stand on Sean O'Malley and his chances against Cheeto Vera?
Well, I'll start with, I think I'm in between you two. I do agree he's a good fighter, but I do think he's a bit overrated as well, because people put him on a pedestal like he's unbeatable. But as we just spoke, the last fight against Peter Yan, he really got lucky because, oh my God, he nearly... Do you know what? Yeah, he nearly got knocked out a few times.
Yeah, he won
he
his
kept
last
taking
fight,
him down. Although, okay, he couldn't do nothing on the ground to him, but he had no answer to it as well.
It was a close fight. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have complained, to be fair, if Peter Yan had got his hand raised on that fight. I'm not sure many people have moaned about it. It was a very close fight. The argument was Peter Yan took him down a lot of times, but didn't really do anything with them takedowns, whereas Sean landed a lot more punches. It was undoubtedly a bit closer, like I said. I agree with you.
It was split decision,
yeah. I don't think anybody in the moaned either way, to be fair.
Although Sean landed more punches, but Jan's punches, they looked like they were more significant.
But I think you have got to put something into the fact that after that fight, Peter Yan's career has dipped.
Yeah, he
Sean
did. That's
O'Malley's
true. Yeah,
has gone up and he's beat, Aljamain Sterling, who was a champion there, and he's got himself the belt.
So you can look at that from both angles, then, can't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
You can say he's already on a slide, Peter Yan.
Yeah,
so I think he's lost 4 of his last 5.
Yeah.
But what I would say about O'Malley is, I mean, you were having a bit of banter earlier on, back and forth, taking piss, and O'Malley,
yeah, with his pink shirt.
he hangs like him. Yeah, what I
just
would
wish
say,
I could grow hair. That's all.
next time, you guys, you watch next podcast.
I'm not jealous at right hook. I'm jealous at hair, mate. I've got the right hook.
No, he's obviously a top fighter. He's one of the best bantamweights in the world.
Absolutely.
There's no questioning that. I just think that the time will tell on him, really. Last few years, with the Contender Series, as he came through, he were flatlining people, he were entertaining, he were brash, he were out there, he does good on pay-per-views.
Listen,
He's got a massive right hand, he's highly skilled. I just think we'll tell a bit more over the next 2 or 3 fights. Argument's sake, his next fight against Merab Dvalishvili, then you'll see him.
Yeah. Listen, the guy is had a run up and he's got himself to a championship. He's had 10 fights in UFC. 8 out of them 10 fights, he's either won a performance at night or fight at night. He's won a performance at year.
No, he's entertaining,
Last
there's no
year.
doubt about it. Yeah.
So I genuinely think he's undefeated because of that. But I don't think he's unbeatable or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not some little fanboy. I might be wearing a t-shirt. I might be talking about him and shouting his name all the time. But especially if he gets through this and has to fight Merab Dvalishvili next, I think he's going to fucking tell.
What I would say as well, he's got 1 loss on his record,
yeah,
and that's against the guy who he's fighting this coming weekend.
Cheeto Vera, yeah.
So a lot will tell after that fight.
And I'm not ruling out Cheeto Vera winning this fight because I think it's a controversial win. A lot of big O'Malley fans say that it's not an actual win. I think it was a legitimate win.
It was. Yeah.
He was injured, but he was injured as a result of fucking Vera's calf kicks. So, you know, I mean, you can't really say you're injured because somebody's kicked you when you're in a fight. You know what I mean? It don't really work out, does it? You know what I mean?
Because McGregor could have played that card when his leg got broken.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm injured.
Yeah, it was a legitimate loss. But I do think O'Malley's got enough to avenge that loss this weekend. But then if he is up against Merab next, I'm not sure he's got enough to take on Merab, especially seeing what he did to Triple C a couple of weeks ago, for sure.
Dominant,
yeah. I think that might be. I think it might be a toe.
On a previous podcast, we were quoted as saying that we thought that'd be. We thought that Merab would win, but we thought it'd be a bit closer than it was.
Yeah.
I know it kind of went distance, but it was a complete domination.
Yeah, it was.
In our opinion, and in judges' opinion.
Yeah. No, it was domination.
Yeah,
it simply was.
We'll see with O'Malley.
It has. I mean, since Cheeto Vera, I mean, he's had a couple of losses since that win against O'Malley. I mean, against Corey Sandhagen and against Jody Aldo. They are a couple of big guys that he's lost against. He's had some big wins against Frankie Edgar, Rob Font, Pedro Munoz. You know, the sort of middling guys, stuff like that. But I just don't think he's looked as sharp, Cheeto, in the last couple of years of what he has in past. So I'm not sure. I know it's his first title shot. He might get himself up for it, and he might fancy himself because he's beat Sean O'Malley once. I do fully expect him to come out and start giving them calf kicks and trying to do the same thing and trying to take him out the same way. But surely, in the couple of years or whatever it's been since Sean O'Malley, he's grown as a fighter. He must have worked out a defence to that. And me personally, I fancy him to take him.
You know, confidence going into this as well. I know he's lost to Vera previously, but confidence after beating Petey, and albeit it was close, and then absolutely wiping floor with former, one of the best champions the division's ever seen.
Yeah, everybody thought he'd get beat by Aljo, didn't they? Everybody thought he'd take him down, he'd wrestle him out of game, but it was a spectacular fucking victory, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
It was, yeah.
And he keeps doing that. He does keep doing that. That's why I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fan of spectacular knockout. These highlight reels, these YouTube fighters, and I think Sean O'Malley is one of them. And I've sort of hung on his coattails before the fucking pink hair and shit and all that. But
he usually backs it up. It's a fair play to him.
It does, yeah. That's the thing in it. As long as they can back it up, same with Conor, same with Ilia Tapori who's going through it now. They might have the talk, but as long as they're doing walking the walk in the octagon, and I think so far O'Malley's done that. So far, Ilia Tapori has done that.
Yeah,
Conor did it for a long time.
That's how superstars are made, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And there's a lot of them that fucking turn up and try to come across as this sort of guy, and they don't back it up and make themselves look stupid. Which so we'll see how it goes, but. It's going to be
intriguing fight.
It is an intriguing fight, and it is down as the main event of the weekend. But for me, and I think for everyone, the co-main event is the people's main event.
Yep.
Because Dustin Diamond Poirier against
Benoit Saint-Denis,
the No Bones podcast favourite. Even though we're not that keen on French people. No. Benoit Saint-Denis.
I like French food.
I like Eric Cantona.
Yeah. I like cheese. I like French cheese.
I like turtles. But Benoit Saint-Denis has been, for the last couple of years, ripping his way through that lightweight division, and he's now got a big fight against Dustin Poirier. A fight that's quite surprising because Dustin's been saying, now he's 35 years old, he's been saying that he don't really want to fight down the rankings, he wants to fight up. He's had 2 shots at a title, lost them both. 1 shot at BMF title, lost that as well. So is he a ceiling on Dustin? He's took this fight against Benoit Saint-Denis, which is a risk for Dustin, really, because Saint-Denis at the moment is ranked number 12. But if he gets through that, he's putting himself right in the mix, isn't he?
Yeah,
so he's stepping down really to fight somebody who's not even in top 10, but a guy who's lost his first UFC fight and then absolutely demolished the following 5.
Yeah.
So it's a massive risk for Poirier. He's been in UFC since 2011, Poirier. He's made tons and tons of cash.
Well, do you know
everybody.
It's been that long that everybody forgets how many fights he had. 29 and 8.
Yeah, 29 and 8 in MMA.
Yeah, 29. Well, 29 in UFC. Yeah, 7 losses, 1 no contest, 21 wins.
Amongst them, he's fought everybody over the last over 10 years.
Well, that's it. These losses are including guys like Khabib, Oliveira, Justin
Gaethje.
Gaethje, you know,
the baddest
elite
motherfuckers of that division.
He's fought McGregor 3 times. He's been there. He's done it. He's never held a belt, has he?
No.
He's like I say, he's had two shots, lost them both. One against Khabib, one against Oliveira, and then lost BMF obviously against Justin Gaethje. He's an almost guy in it. He's up there. He's an absolute top shelf fighter,
future Hall of Famer.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely. And the guys that the guys that he's beat Michael Chandler, beat Conor McGregor twice, beat Dan Hooker, beat Max Holloway. These are some fucking very good names he's got on his resume. Who are Dustin Poirier, but at 35-year-old. Coming up against a hungry and an impressive Frenchman in Benoit Saint-Denis, it's going to be a hell of a fight. And I think for me, as much as a Sugar Sean fan I am, this is the main event for me. This fight is the one.
I agree
when this
as well.
were made initially, wow, it come out of nowhere, didn't it?
Fucking hell, yeah.
Because you don't often in UFC, you don't often get guys that are knocking 2 and 3 ranked in divisions, somebody outside top 10.
Yeah, but to me,
it doesn't usually occur, does it?
To me, I know he's fighting down, but to me, he's almost fighting up because the Saint Denis is coming up. He's coming like a train, and everybody knows that, and he knows that, and he probably thought, you know what, I'll have a couple of this.
Well, that's it. I mean, well, I'll ask a question here. We got a question asked to us through our Twitter feed this week from @Spider1, which said, if Dustin Poirier gets through this fight here with Benoit Saint-Denis, where does he go next? Does he get a title shot? But what we're thinking about here is, in this division, this totally stacked division, you've got people lining up for a title shot. We've got Charles Oliveira, we've got Justin Gaethje, we've got Arman Tsarukyan, and Mateusz Gamrot, who's been waiting a long time. So even if Dustin does get through this, considering he's already had 2 title shots, I think there's quite a queue for him to get that next title shot.
I think so as well. I think he needs a rematch with Oliveira then. It's simple as that.
I think that's a good call, a rematch with Oliveira. But Charles's next fight, he's probably going to be wanting fighting for belt, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, guys, that's providing if it'll all depend on UFC 300, won't it?
Well, that's a good point.
There's Gaethje and Holloway.
Yeah.
Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira, UFC 300.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that will be a fight as well.
So it comes through that. I mean, that division is so stacked. And if Benoit Saint-Denis gets through and gets over Dustin Poirier, he's going to throw himself right in the mix with Charles, with Justin, with Arman, with Mateusz Gamrot. There's just going to be such a queue.
I don't see the reason why not as well. You know what? They were just as exciting fighters as him, with a lot less fights in their pockets who got the title shot. So why shouldn't he?
Exactly.
So I can't. He's very, very good. He's running through this division.
You don't often see, like I said, somebody who's ranked 12 fighting somebody who's ranked.
Saint-Denis, he needs. He's much like Arman Tsarukyan himself. He got through that good fight, a good result against Benil Dariush. He's been boosted up and he's now being touted for next title shot. Much like that, Benoit Saint-Denis is making a similar plough through the lightweight division. I mean, he's had 6 fights in UFC. He's 5-1. He disputed his debut loss because the guy who he lost against got fucking called out for drugs a couple of months later. That sort of thing. And Benoit Saint-Denis himself needs rewarding. If he gets through Dustin Poirier this weekend,
because let's not forget Dustin, he likes a brawl. Oh my god, he does not go down easy. He just loves that brawl.
It's going to be a great fight.
Definitely a fight for him.
I've never seen a boring fight with him. That's how crazy he is. I've never seen a boring fight with him.
Both of them. They're both balls out. Fucking stick your neck on the line. Let's swing.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Let's fight. And while we're talking about that, let's move down to the next one and the introduction to UFC of British favourite Michael Venom Page. And I think the fucking nail has been hit on the head with his first opponent in UFC, Kevin Holland. You might as well have took. You've got this British guy who's an MMA fighter and this American guy who's this MMA fighter. You might have thought, these guys are exactly the fucking same. Let's whack them in together.
Oh my god, this is like a fight made in heaven.
What a matchup for Venom Page's fucking debut. We've been waiting for him to be in UFC for a long time.
To me, it's just why it took him so long. I understand maybe Bellator treated him well, but why hasn't he even dipped his toes in UFC before? He had his chances, definitely.
No, I'm sure he's had offers. I mean, I tell you what, Joe Silver, matchmaker, and other guys that get involved. Could you? What a matchup that is. Yeah,
it is.
He's going in against ranked 12, 13 guy in division.
He's 13 at the minute. He's trailblazer Kevin Holland. And he's so active, is Kevin Holland, and he just accepts any fights. And it's almost like fucking Jeff Neal Magny. You know what I mean? He's that guy.
He is 25 and 10 and 1-0 contest.
I say,
He's 25 and 10 and 1-0 contest, so he has 36 fights.
Not exactly. You know what I mean? And,
He's
like
an
I said,
animal.
they're both there. They both got their hands down. They're both boxing stars, hands down. Fucking, it should make a great fight and an entertainment spectacle. You know, we all know what Kevin Owens like is there. He's fucking chatting to his opponent all the way through. He's giving him tips how to beat him. He's fucking doing that. Venom Page won't take none of that shit. The man's 36-year-old. He's got what? He's got a year or two in UFC.
Yeah.
He's going to want Leon Edwards sometime soon,
Well,
possibly by end of this year.
Yeah.
You know what? He's already called for that. And that would sell a stadium out in UK.
Yeah.
I mean, my MVP.
Take my money. I'm going.
MVP
A London event, maybe Octoberish.
Yeah.
Something like
Take my
I've been
money.
struggling to understand why I haven't been at UFC before now, because he's been on the scene for 10, 15 years.
that. Absolutely.
He's been in multiple organisations. He's had a couple of boxing matches.
I mean,
he come through
is
on them,
that
2
good?
wins.
He shattered somebody's skull. Actually shattered somebody's skull with a flying up knee.
Yeah.
That's what's his Cyborg. You know, Cyborg. He flattened him. He need him in a fight so badly. Do you know what? If I'll find that video, I'm gonna put it on.
It is interesting for people, you know,
He's unbelievable.
who listen to this. Maybe they don't watch so much Bellator stuff like that. They listen to you who want to watch UFC and they don't know so much about Michael Venom Page. You know what I mean? He's a 36-year-old guy who's been people are trying to get him into UFC for a while. He's been making moves in Bellator, things like that. Is an hands down boxing style fighter. Keeps his distance. He looks for them heavy counter strikes with high accuracy. You know, he's got all the histrionics and stuff like that to unnerve his opponent and to get crowd on his side. Much like Kevin Holland himself, which is why we all think it's going to be a fucking great match.
I think it's almost as good as Destin Poirier versus Ben Sandini. Honestly, it's
It is.
that
So
close.
bad for
It's
me.
amazing.
It is, and if he gets through it, the one fighter, I mean, Holland's already fought this guy and got beat by him, but I think if he gets through him, the next guy for me, I think Venom Page against Michael Wonderboy Thompson.
That would be
Yeah.
incredible.
I think technically
That would be absolutely.
it's going to be
my
a
God.
masterclass.
You
and
know
I
what?
think,
That could headline.
Yeah, Venom Page against Wonderboy Thompson, and then after that, he might be looking at like Shavkat or Leon Edwards come end of
If he
year.
comes-
Well, I
if
think
he
that's
comes
where
through-
he would come.
He'll be fast track if he comes through this unscathed and in spectacular fashion, like a lot of us predict he will do.
Yeah.
If any,
They've got to bet that Wonderboy
If any
tie
of you
next
guys
time.
watching has not seen, just have a look at YouTube's videos.
Yeah.
People at home watching or whatever. He's
I'll-
absolutely
I'll
incredible
try to
striker.
fit few.
No, he's
in.
got most knockout victories in welterweight history in Bellator.
Yeah.
As Michael Venom Page. It's
his style. It's like
and
a free
I can't remember how many,
style.
but a lot of them ended up in first round as well.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just
There's
ends
a
very
lot of really
quick. He ends them fights really, really quick.
like I say, exactly like
In
Chris,
spectacular
like Chris
fashion
says,
as
where
well.
A lot of MMA fans have been waiting for him to sign for UFC for a long time. He's had offers from different companies, different franchises, all that. For some reason, he hadn't made it to UFC.
If he's
While
Bellator
36,
must have
but-
made it very comfortable to stay there for him because
Well, he didn't.
otherwise,
He
what
always
would it?
floats. He was there for a while, but he floats around.
Hmm.
He's had a couple of professional boxing matches. He's had 28 or whatever MMA
His
fights.
full MMA record is 21-2.
No,
So
21
victories,
yeah.
2 losses.
Yeah.
Not bad at
He's
all.
tried bare knuckle against Mike Parry, which didn't end well for him because Parry's an absolute
Well,
murderer.
it seems like he's an
Yeah.
absolute fucking goat at bare knuckle. At
You know,
minute,
bare
Mike
knuckle
Parry.
is a different game as well, isn't it? They fight completely. You cannot be that loose.
Oh, yeah, tell
Simple
me
as that.
about it.
And
Yeah, I'm up there in that division.
you
But yeah,
basically
it's just
have to relearn fighting, really.
It's just a shame for me, really, like I said in a previous podcast, it's a shame this one 5-6 years ago, when he's like 30, 31.
Yeah, the fact that it's
'Cause I'm not sure, his all-round game, Kevin Holland, he might be slightly better.
Yeah, I'm not saying Michael
So-
Page is going to win that fight, mate. I like Kevin Holland.
Do you know? I think even if he wins right against Kevin Holland, and if he gets Shavkat, I think that's where he
I
might
can't see
struggle
him doing
because
that, mate.
Shavkat he's a different kind of a breed.
Well, he's on rise in his.
I'd be
his
very
young,
surprised
isn't
if he went from
he-
winning against 13th division to fighting somebody who's second or third. I
Yeah.
don't think
Shavkat
he'll
will be
have
too
one in
much for
between,
him.
won't
he?
he?
As good as Kevin Holland is, and as admirable as he is, because he takes fights on a whim, I think it's probably affecting his career a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you look at his record since 2021, he's had 4 wins, 5 losses, and 1 no contest, which sometimes he's taking fights a month after he's fought last. You know what I mean? It's admirable and it's great, and we as fans love that.
Love him.
Just like
fans love him. UFC,
love
Dana White loves him.
Yeah,
I've got to say, one of them
Leon,
losses was against Chimaev, and that's questionable to me.
What you just mentioned that his previous losses, recent losses against Brunson, Vittori, Hamzat, Thompson, and Jack Mada Delalena.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are stand-up guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's why I'm leaning towards MVP. I don't want him to win, and he's English. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been looking forward to seeing him.
And you know what?
I'm sure
he's a
once we
cool
get
guy
round-
as well. He's like down to earth. He's a really, really cool lad.
Yeah, I'm sure once we get round to predictions, it might be a one-way thing, because as much as we do admire Kevin Holland, but you know, it's a big British fighter getting himself into UFC after a long time of everybody waiting, and we're all looking forward to seeing it. So we shall move on. Speaking of Jack Della Maddalena, we will move on to his bout up against Gilbert Burns, which is a bit of a step up for him. You know, he beat Kevin Holland in his last fight, but before that, he's had middling opponents, unranked opponents. But he's making his way up there. He's a pure boxing style, Jack Della Maddalena. His face looks like he's a boxer. You know what I mean? He's got them skills, but he's coming up against a guy in Gilbert Burns who might be knocking on the door of retirement or whatever. But he's a hell of a fighter.
He's a brawler as well. He likes that
I've
scrap,
made a few
doesn't
notes
he?
here as well. I mean, certainly Jack. What's his name again?
Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah.
He's a
JDM.
super boxer. JDM's a super boxer. Has he won? I think he's got 6 fights in UFC and he's won all 6.
Yeah.
So he's on a bit of a tear. He's obviously flying.
6 out of 6, mate, and he's had four bonuses, fight bonuses.
He's ranked
for them,
just outside at top 10. I think he's ranked 11 or 12. And he's fighting Gilbert Burns,
11.
who personally is I've got it written down as well.
I'm a stat man.
But yeah, to go up against Gilbert Burns, if he's ranked 11, he's going against Gilbert Burns, who's ranked 4th. Gilbert Burns has got shitloads of experience.
Again,
very well
future Hall of
all-rounded.
Fame.
Yeah,
He's
very
a
well
beast.
all-rounded.
Yeah, absolute beast.
I mean, yeah.
The one that sticks out for me, Gilbert Burns, is, you know, everybody's on hype chain about Hamzat. I think he pretty much ragdolled Hamzat in that fight they had with him. And when I was researching this fight, I'm thinking, was that Hamzat fight last fight that Gilbert Burns had? I'm thinking, I can't remember him fighting since then.
Well, it's last or one.
Turns out he's had 3 of the fuckers since then.
Yeah.
He finished Masvidal, didn't he?
Yeah, he finished Magdi, he finished Masvidal, and then he lost to Belal.
Yeah, he's won. I've written down here with his age might be. He's knocking on 37. I know he's had an injury. He's had a serious injury, but he's won 4 of his last 5. And I just think that another intriguing match. I know we keep using that word intriguing, but it really is.
It is. That's what makes this card fucking brilliant. This UFC 299 card. They're all intriguing. The fact that, you know, Holland and Venom Page is intriguing. Gilbert Burns and fucking Jack Della Maddalena, you know, a fucking veteran against a fucking prospect. And then Sean O'Malley, who has been proved by us, divides people up against the guy that's beat him, the only guy that's beat him, but most people probably think he's better than him. The whole card is intriguing as a motherfucker, isn't it? Even up down to prelims, it's great.
Gilbert Burns, to me, is
He's a fan favourite for me. First thing I've written on here.
He's endearing, isn't it?
Fan favourite.
Nobody hates him.
Really big smile on him.
Yeah.
A bit like
really
Stephen Thompson and stuff like that.
Experience, speaks well, is cheeky.
Yeah.
He's an absolute fucking murderer as well. All rounded.
do you know,
BJJ black belt, brilliant. You know, absolutely.
when he was fighting Chimaev, he was underdog in that fight. When he left, at the end of the fight, he was, he won over the crowd. He was oh my god.
You can argue he won that fight.
Yeah, I thought he won that fight. And let's not forget, he's half the size of Chimaev. He's half the size of Chimaev.
That's been very lucky. I mean, against
A few
opponents, definitely.
Against Kamaru,
they gave him a nod just because of entertainment, but I think bias. That's what it was really.
I love watching him.
I do as well. He's beatable, 100%.
He's that ferocious when he comes out.
Somebody's going to beat him soon.
He very nearly demolishes people in first round, doesn't he? And all these fights where he struggled, Hamzat, it's towards the back end at like third round.
I'm not sure if it's been confirmed yet, or what his next fight's supposed to be. Izzy Adesanya, and I'm taking Izzy over that. I think that might be his ceiling, but
yeah,
we'll get into that when it comes around.
You know, Kevin Holland, when he beat Kevin Holland, to me, the way he beat him, it was very questionable.
Oh,
and
he ragdolled.
all what you could hear them say,
Who Hamza?
yeah,
I thought he absolutely destroyed
He
him.
destroyed him in seconds.
No, but that's my point. He, when you tap the gloves, everyone does it. It's like a sportsmanship thing, isn't it?
Right, okay.
He kind of cheated him. Oh, let's tap, and no, I'm not gonna tap. He just dived straight in. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, right, in the way you can sort of high five sort of thing.
Before the fight,
right.
Yeah, and
all right, took advantage of that.
yeah,
That's a bitch move. That. I don't
that's
like
my
when
point.
people do
So
that,
It's not in
he's
rules,
like,
though, is it? It's
I'm-
just sportsmanship.
I know, but
exactly that,
I
exactly
think you
that.
can get away with shit like that only once. Now, any other fighter that's gonna fight in future, they know you can pull shit like that, and no one's gonna high five you. Then they know you can do that. That's it. That's
To be fair,
over.
I don't think
shouldn't be
Kevin
doing
Holland
shit
stopped
like that.
his bloody takedowns anyway. He didn't, did he?
No, I mean, getting back to.
I just
Burns
feel like he
against-
didn't want to spar with him, like stand and bang with him. I thought he thought, you know what, maybe he had a bad day. I don't really know. It's easy to judge somebody from the TV, but maybe he had a bad day or whatever.
Yeah, well.
But he just chose to do that and dive for it, and then just give everything he has, which I found it a bit weird.
Yeah, no, it is, and getting back to Burns against Maddalena fight, it is going to be an interesting one. Jack Della Maddalena, he's been making his way up them rankings, and a lot of people do fancy him. I think Gilbert Burns, at this point, who's ranked number 4, when Maddalena's at number 11, it is a good test for him. It is a good fight for him. I mean, Burns has had mixed results over the years against ranked opponents.
He had 6 losses, didn't he? So
yeah, he'll beat some, he'll lose against some. So I think it's a true test for Jack Della Maddalena, whether he deserves to be in that top 5, top 6.
His actual favourite with bookies.
He is, but he did struggle in his last fight though, did Jack Della Maddalena. I thought when he fought Kevin Holland, I thought he'd take him out, because of prospect. Because obviously, I thought he'd do quite easy, but it was a very close fight. It was a very close fight. I mean, he got a split decision in the end, but I thought he'd be more comfortable because at rise of him, because of his boxing prowess and stuff like that.
yeah, confidence, of that, all that rise. Yeah,
It didn't seem to be that way, but it's an intriguing.
like I said earlier on, maybe it just wasn't his night. Maybe just
Exactly.
You don't know, dear.
Yeah.
Off nights, injuries,
Yeah.
preparation,
Headache,
weight
anything could
cuts.
affect it, isn't
weight
it?
cuts is a big thing.
Yeah.
There is. Okay, so that for main ones, we are going to touch a little bit now on Peter Yan and Sonia Dong. We'll have a little bit on that. I mean, Peter Yan's career since he lost to Sean O'Malley has dipped a bit, whereas O'Malley's gone other way. Sonia Dong, pretty much same. He were up there as like number 1, number 2 contenders for a while. He sort of dipped. So that's going to be an intriguing fight as well.
Well, he only
I
had
think.
2 losses. Dipped is a strong word, maybe.
It is, but I mean, fucking, 2 losses is a dip in UFC, mate.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right.
It
Yeah.
can ruin you if you do it. Like
Peter
look at fights like Kamaru Usman, fucking 3 years ago. He was
One
number
fight
1
ruined
pound for
him, yeah.
pound, lost 2. Now he's not even at top
He did
10.
got flatlined though.
No, he did get flatlined. Yeah, Leon sorted him out.
Rocky.
Yeah, sorted him
Headshot,
out.
Barn.
Fucking hell.
Well, yeah, so that's going to be an intriguing one, and one that we're looking at on prelims is Jayton Almeida against Curtis Blades, because that sort of leans itself into Arman Talmaspinall, because Tom in brackets lost to Curtis Blades. Jayton Almeida is a guy coming through, so we would like to touch a bit on that. I know Chris has got something to say about that, so we'll go on there.
I'm pretty sure Tom have a big eye on that one. Like he's just said, he lost to one of them, and others flying up rankings. I think they're both ranked inside top 10. And there's no
7 or something.
Yeah, there's no. Tom's got no coming up at the minute, has he?
No,
I'm sure there's something in pipeline. But
There's got to be. There's got to be soon. It is weird, isn't it? Because that division and where they're going, and I think Tom's going to want to avenge his loss to Curtis Blades at some point. Jayton Almeida's a guy that's fucking making his way through that heavyweight division. Tom ain't got an opponent because the only 2 people that he wants to fight are waiting for each other. Cyril Gane's just somewhere treading water in the middle because he knows he's going to get his ass kicked by Tom.
Yeah.
But he's probably got everybody else covered.
It's crazy they haven't made that fight.
It
yet.
is.
Yeah, for me, I still don't understand that.
His last fight was against Cyril Gane,
Yeah.
John Jones and Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
Right? He lost, right? Tom Aspinall's waiting in wings to fight winner of Miocic and
Yeah.
Jones.
Fight Cyril Gane.
So
That's
it's
it.
like, and he's highly ranked, he don't quite don't weigh up.
I just don't understand as well. Do you know, in last fight, Aspinall, it was an easy fight for him. He did not get injured or nothing, so he's more or less ready again. So why they didn't read? They had like how many chances they had in the last 4 months?
It's crazy.
Every weekend
I
it
would
was
have
a
thought
chance
they'd
to
have got
do it.
Lagan fight on again. It might end up just being a immediate rematch with Pavlovich, which seems
I don't know.
a bit.
No,
it
the only
seems a bit
reason the only reason I think maybe why they haven't done it because they were hoping for Aspinall to fight John Jones in 300. Maybe there was something down them pipelines, and they would just keep delaying, and now it's too late.
They actually rang Aspinall and asked him if he wanted to fight at UFC 300. And
Well,
he said yes straight away.
Speaking
They
of
offered
which,
him Jones, he said yeah. Miocic, he said yeah. Pereira,
Yeah, so that's my point. Yeah,
So it just makes you
Speaking
wonder
of which,
what's
there's been-
happening further down the line with
there's
Yeah.
been many
UFC,
stories
isn't
coming
there?
out about that this week. There's been the fact that UFC offered Izzy Adesanya against Dricus du Plessis at 300 as well, and Izzy accepted it, but Dricus didn't.
Yeah.
I would like to see a list of all the fights that were offered for that headline event. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Alex Pereira against Jamal Hill as the main event. I think it'll be an intriguing fight, but I would like to see all the official offers that they actually made and got refused.
Well, Dana
shit-canned
did come
a
out
lot.
and
It
said
would be
on one of the
interesting to see.
podcasts that what's going on behind the scenes on UFC 300, he said it's absolutely mad.
Yeah, you could actually make
The
a show on
entire
that, he
card
said,
could
didn't he?
change in a split second. He said at any time, entire card could change. That's what he said.
I think
Not only the main card, the entire card. He goes, is that mental what's happening?
it is that mental, but I think it's got to go some to upstage this fucking show that we're talking about tonight in 299 because
Mate, I think we might be doing it a bit. I don't think this 299 card.
Yeah, it's
for
mental.
me, I think it's the best card I've ever
Wicked.
seen. This
Yeah.
299 card.
Before we move on, I'd like to say thanks to Tom Aspinall for the T-shirt.
I'd like to say thanks to
Sean O'Malley.
Sugar Sean O'Malley or Jake Paul or whoever's done that.
Yeah.
Sort of show. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I like to
Me-
say thank you to Levi.
I know me and boys we bought some Aspinall's hoodies from the Gym Shark, is it? And we reached out to him, and he says he couldn't come on podcast or even give us an interview because he's a busy man training. But what he did do, he sent us one of these T-shirts. I don't know if it's one of his or what, but it fits bang on. So cheers, Tom.
We're too small for Tom.
Yeah, few sizes too
big.
small.
Yeah. I fucked that joke up.
Yeah, you did. You fucking.
It looks
did
good
big
anyway,
time.
mate. It looks good. He bottled wearing pink top, so I had to do that one. But yeah, I got you, Sugar. I got you. It's all good. And then Richard's usually sporting Kermit.
Yeah, not today. Today I'm paying tribute to Levi's for making jeans and good gear.
What weight division is he in, mate?
Fuck knows, man.
Where's his little frog gone? It's because we're talking about French today. Shit yourself.
Yeah.
He's got his little
I thought
Benoit
I better put that back.
Benoit sending Kermit.
Yep, I'll wear it next time.
Yeah, oh my.
Yeah, this is seriously one of the best, in my opinion, in recent memory, one of the best cards I've put together.
It is. It's for me.
You've got 7 or 8 on there.
Certainly, since we've been doing this podcast, it's been the one that's fired me up most, and the one that I've been excited to talk about, even before watching it. You know, I mean,
What fight?
Do you know,
what fight were
we've
you
seen
looking
this
forward to
card for a
most,
while
would you
now.
say?
from this card,
Yeah.
oh, it's got to be Saint-Denis and Poirier.
For me, between Saint-Denis and Poirier and Kevin Holland and
I actually think though, guy. I
Venom
think one of
Page.
fight at nights will be Peter Yang and Song Yadong. I really do.
Oh, yeah,
That
it
will
was
be an amazing fight. If that opens up main card as well, I'll tell you what.
Song Yadong.
As is
a-
Almeida and fucking Blades. That'll be a good one.
He has a cracker fucking hand. Honestly, cracking fucking right hand. And then he has a good ground game as well. He finished, I think, 4 of his opponents. He choked them out, 4 of them, I think, of his opponents. The rest, they all been knocked out clean, cold.
Well, so let's go. Well, let's go. Let's go for main card, and we'll have a few predictions. Let's see what we see. See if we have a difference of opinion, or if we're all just fucking riding on the same boat. We'll start out with we'll go from bottom. We'll go from Peter Yang and Sonia Dong. What do you reckon, Chris? Where are we going? Are we going Yan? Or are we going?
I think Song's going to get this one. I think he's won 5 of his last 6, so he's got form going into it. Peter Yan, I'm a big fan of his, but he's lost 4 of his last 5. He's knocking on a little bit. it's hard to turn.
It's age difference,
a
26
sinking ship in it.
yeah.
Let's say it's the curse of an ex-champion, isn't it? You know what I mean? Subconsciously, that drive and that desire. Once you've had that belt strapped around you, I mean, I've not been a professional fighter. I mean, I'm as good as one.
No,
I've not been one, but I imagine once you've had that belt strapped around you, you know, the desire goes a little bit, whether you know about it or not. And Peter Yan's career seems to have.
he's only 31, 32 though, so he's not like, you know, if you look at Gilbert Burns, 37, 38.
He has, but 2 years ago, he looked like he looked
Different people, isn't
like
it?
he were at the pinnacle of that division,
he did,
didn't he? And now he looks like he's trying to keep in top 10. So moving on from your prediction, I'm backing Sonia Don to take that as well.
I do as well. That's unanimous, 100%.
We're all going on that. So let's bob up to Jack Della Maddalena and Gilbert Burns. Where we're going on that. In fact, I'm going to start on that. I think that Gilbert Burns is knocking on a little bit. I think Jack Della Maddalena, apart from him struggling a little bit against Kevin Owens last time round, I think his pure out fucking mad swinging boxing style is probably going to get him a victory. A TKO victory at some point during that 3-round fight. What do you think, Chris?
I think Gilbert Burns will probably win on points. I just think he's a proper veteran, really well all-rounded, great on ground. He could submit him, but I just think Gilbert Burns will have a bit too much for him. And I don't think that JDM, I don't think he's fought anybody in the same league.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm impressed with what he's done, but I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I would not be surprised if that came through either. Rich, what we're saying?
I reckon Gilbert Burns going to knock him out.
You're going Gilbert Burns KO?
I think so,
Knockout?
yeah. I think he's still got it because, do you know what? He's a brawler as well, and he has a punch. He has a punch in him. Actually, both hands of his work just as well.
No,
Left or right, he can take you down.
Mate, that's been proven time and time again.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you know what?
We'll see, won't we?
He has a chin on him. Jack Della Maddalena has no... I don't think he has... what do you call it? I don't think he wants to take him to the ground. I don't think he,
No, he's a stand-up.
He's a stand-up fighter, and so just for that reason, I think he'll get knocked out. I think that's
fair enough. Let's move up to the UFC debut of British fucking sensation Michael Venom Page.
That's his brother.
We've been waiting for a long time. Is coming in what we think is the perfect opponent in the fucking silly bastard that is Kevin Holland, the entertainer that is Kevin Holland, the entertainer that is Michael Venom Page. As we say, it's a great matchup, but which way is it going to go, Richard?
Well, I think Venom Page will take it, but I wouldn't surprise if Kevin Holland did it as well.
I hope it's one of them jump up in air, fucking spin round, swirly, fucking kick to head shit.
Well, you know what? I can't remember who, but Kevin Holland knocked out somebody off his back. Literally gave him 2 good cracks and put him to sleep, sat down. The guy fell asleep while he was sat down. I can't remember who it was. So
who are you picking up?
I'll say Michael Venom Page.
Chris?
Yeah, I think MVP as well. I think he'll just catch him with some... You know what? He's already kind of a superstar. It's weird to say superstar, but if you look at his highlight reel, if you've watched him over the years,
it is weird to say
superstar
when it's outside UFC, isn't it? Because it's Premier League.
It's just how he deals with. It's his UFC debut. He's 36, 37 years old, and can he stay off ground as well? If he mixes it up, it can be really interesting. Kevin Holland, he could nick it if he mixes it up. I just think though MVP,
I think he's going to be hungry. He's going to want to make his mark in
Because
UFC. He's not going to have long in UFC. He's going to want to fucking turn up, make his mark in UFC.
And I would say, just to finish off, sorry, Matty, I think that is a perfect matchup for him. Because he will stand and bang all day.
But Kevin Holland, he does have a ground game.
Entertaining as a motherfucker, mate. It's going to be like Ant and Deck's Saturday night takeaway, mate. It's prime time, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely prime time. MVP is just more of a technical striker.
Yeah, but Kevin Holland has a ground game, you know, so it's possible that he would just take him down.
Listen, no, I'm going for Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, yeah. I mean, I'm not that confident, but I just think, UFC... experience, Venom Page coming on in, maybe occasion might get a bit bigger for him. If it were in England, I'd fancy him a bit more. But Kevin Holland is so active and he knows his bones. He knows his bones as Kevin Holland, and I think he might just get through it. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. because I'm cheering on Venom Page
close fight.
to have a good couple of years in UFC.
I think it's close fight.
And I hope he gets to fight like Shavkat or Leon or something like that and gives himself a good couple of years in there. Now he's finally signed up a contract with UFC. But if I'm putting on Aka, I think I might be sneaking towards Kevin Holland, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. So let's move on to the People's main event.
Lightweight.
The People's main event in the lightweight bout between Diamond, Dustin Poirier, and Benoit Saint-Denis. always like saying his name. It's just it's French and it's nice to say it. It sounds a little bit sexy when you say it, don't you?
Lord of War, is it? Lord of War.
Benoit Saint-Denis. Something like that, yeah. Some kind of fucking military mad cunt, wasn't it? But yes, it's gonna be an interesting fight. Dustin Poirier, you know what I mean? He thinks it's the top. He's at the top of the tree. He's fell short a couple of times when he's been fighting for the actual top of the tree. He thinks he's better than fighting for somebody who's numbered at 11, but he's probably been offered a big fat fucking purse to take this on UFC 299. So he's took it. It's a dangerous fight for him. And I think the way that Benoit Saint-Denis has been running through this lightweight division, I think it's a dangerous fight for Dustin Poirier as well. It's debatable which way it's going to go. I've got my opinions, but I'm going to move over to Mr. Johnson and see which way he's fucking thinking first. Chris, what do you reckon?
God, what a fight this is to start.
It is. It's main event, isn't it?
This is a juicy fight, is this?
Mate, this should be on 300 rather than 298.
Yeah, you know what? Poirier's age 35. I'll tell you an interesting stat about Poirier. I know we're not doing stats now, but I'll do one anyway. He's never lost 2 fights on trot.
I thought you were going to say he had some hot sauce.
He's never lost 2 fights on trot.
I agree.
He's lost
His
plenty of fights. Yeah, he's never, if you look through his record.
He only lost to the absolute best.
Yeah, he's lost, then he's won a few.
Because let's not forget how stacked up this fucking division is. The players in that division are absolutely mental.
I mean, he's got a beautiful tattoo on his chest saying...
His what? His testy
on his
what?
On his testicle.
Yeah. I thought that's what he's going to say.
He's got a tattoo on his chest saying the way of the warrior.
There's only a few people know what it says on his testicles, mate.
What Sugar Sean tastes like? Vinegar.
Victory.
Anyway, let's get on with it.
Good comeback, that.
That's what he said.
Yeah, stop fucking about anyway. Yeah, so who do you think is
Again,
going to win?
yeah.
I think that
No, Dustin Poirier, mate, he's lost against Gaethje, he's lost against Oliveira, he's lost against Khabib.
I think Dustin Poirier
Even
gonna
I'd
take
have lost
this.
against 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and
I'll be first. I think Dustin gonna take this.
you think Dustin's
I
taking
think
it?
so. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think. Quickly.
I think it'll be too much for Saint-Denis.
I think that this will be the first time he loses 2 in his career because I think Benoit Saint-Denis on a tear. He lost his first fight, won his last 5, and what I would say is, if you think back to the last couple of weekends ago when Volt got flattened on his rematch, what happened? He lost, and I tell you what, Dustin Poirier suffered it was a bad knockout, wasn't it, against Gaethje?
I agree.
Head
It was,
kick
yeah.
flattened him, and so I'm going. I think that trend's going to be broken. And I think Dustin Poirier is going to lose.
I think these new guys coming through are going to start taking over,
guard.
and I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Benoit Saint-Denis.
So yeah, unfortunately, he's one of our favourites for sure. Both of these guys are. That's why it's such a good fight for us.
Yeah.
I think
As
with his
much as I
age-
admire Saint-Denis, I
You
fucking
still think
love Dustin Poirier, and I just think he's still
don't get
got
me
it.
wrong, it would not surprise me at all. And his impressive wins
He's a
against Conor
fucking
and stuff
warrior.
like that
He's
is
just
great.
a fucking warrior. That's what
And
he
anybody can lose to Justin Gaethje because that guy just fights with his face and fucking goes for it.
is. And let's not forget, Gaethje's legs are fucking mental. Do you remember when he was fighting Khabib, when he was kicking his legs?
Yeah.
Khabib was flying through the ring.
I mean, and to further back up that, ultimately I do agree with Chris, and I think Benoit Saint-Denis might get the result in this. But up to this, as impressive as he has been, he's only really beat Matt Frivola in New York in his last time out as a guy who's never lost when he's fought in New York and stuff like that, and that was a very impressive victory. But before that, all middling guys, all rank guys and stuff like that. So is he quite ready for someone the stature of Dustin Poirier? But I also remember having this exact same conversation about Ilya Poirier and Alexander Volkanovski.
I think it's it's certainly a change at guard for me. Over the last couple, I mean, few fighters on this card and a couple of previous cards, they were knocking on her, but you can just see it, can't you?
And I think
The
UFC
side's
needs
weak.
that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
UFC needs that because a hell of a lot of fighters. I mean, we've got an idea for a whole podcast that's going to focus on this, but there's a hell of a lot of fighters that are coming to end of their UFC career in 2024, if not early 2025. And we do need a fucking change in the guard, and we do need a lot of young, hungry fighters to come through and to start taking off the mantle from these older guys that are all in the mid-30s and stuff like that, because they're not going to last very much longer. And if this fucking franchise, especially with Bellator and PFL joining together and fucking running up the back of the UFC's ass, they need some of these young guys to come through. They fucking certainly do.
Realistically, Bernard Saint-Denis is the perfect next generation fighter. He's good on stand up. He's good on ground. He's all round fighter, like perfect all round fighter.
Yeah, he's one that's flying. He's one that's flying for
Dustin
it.
He's
Along
decent
with, like,
on the ground. He's not amazing, but on the ground, but on stand up, he's a machine, isn't he?
Yeah,
we are generation, like our generation of fighters, who had one or the other most of the time. Or they were very good on ground and they were okay on stand up, or they were amazing on stand up and good defense. And they were clashing for last 10 years, weren't they? All these Dagestanis coming, they're okay on stand-up, but they were amazing on the ground against Americans or British fighters.
We need these guys. We need these guys in the 20s to come through, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like
the ones
Sean
that
O'Malley
coming
who's
through,
already got
they're
there.
just
And then
all round.
We've got guys like Mo Mokaev who's fighting this weekend as Ricardo, who's making waves in that division.
Yeah.
Memoir Sendani, who's only 28, 29. He needs to be coming through, taking them out. We need these young guys to be coming through and to start taking them, don't we? Jack Della Maddalena himself.
The guys like them, that they're good at everything.
It's a cycle, isn't it? It's always a cycle in sports and combat sports.
Yeah.
It's just good to see that it's developing.
One thing that they can't change is age, isn't it? As they start knocking on, no matter how good they are.
That's why we need Big Tom. We need Big fucking Tom. That fucking good.
Yeah, look at that as well. The heavyweight division before. It was just
usually
big
with heavyweight
fighting.
guys, it
What
is
about
usually
now?
older guys like with heavyweight, and it's usually younger guys in smaller weights and older guys in heavyweights. But we need somebody like Tom, who's still in his 20s. He needs to go and take it over. It needs to be bringing these next wave of fighters through and inspiring them.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got anybody to fight except John Jones. That's the problem.
I think what happens as well with higher weights, they tend to come into the prime at an older age.
Yeah,
heavyweights might be.
Well, it's not more. It's not.
30s.
It's more about.
Aspinall's 30 as well, isn't it?
In heavyweights, it's less about athleticism and more about your nous and your power.
Yeah,
which is why older guys do it on there. Whereas the lighter weights like bantam and fly and feather.
It's all technique, speed,
it's athleticism and all that, because they haven't really got the knockout power, so they just need to be able to go for it for fucking 25 minutes full out.
To be fair, a lot of them they're highly skilled, aren't they? If you break it down, the lower weights, they're proper martial artists.
Yeah.
They do everything extremely well. Not all of them, obviously. Look at Tom.
If you want to.
But Tom is. That's what my point. Tom is the next generation fighter, because if you're a heavyweight today, you can't fight Tom anymore because he'll take you down and he'll completely destroy you.
The sport's evolving, mate. In mixed martial arts and seeing stuff like that, it's still a brand new sport. It's only 30 years in.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
It's evolving. It's evolving like a motherfucker, and people are going to go. We're looking at guys now like John Jones and all these guys that are up there and talking about goats now. I think in 10, 15 years time, the skill level that guys that are coming through are going to eclipse them.
Yeah,
nobody will be talking about George St. Pierre anymore. Obviously I know because they led the way and stuff like that, and Chuck Liddell and all these guys. But I just think the talent-wise and the technique-wise, it's just going to improve and evolve, and it's just going to get better and better, like as in other sports, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, and I for one, can't wait to see how it evolves.
It's going from strength to strength, isn't it? Yeah. Do you watch these young kids training nowadays? They don't. Even though they've never had a fight, they're amateurs, not even amateurs, they're just training, and some of them are unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Dagestanis and that come through with wrestling prowess and stuff like that, I hope they don't take over, because you still need them guys that.
Well, that's my point. I don't think they will.
No, I don't think they will.
I think their days are over. They had good 10-year run, and that's
I'm glad they're here, and they definitely had something, but I'm just hoping the other side of it sticks around as well. You know, the stand-up
because now the fighters that come in like Bernard Saint-Denis, they're all round, they're good at everything.
What's interesting
that's what they're only going to get better.
What's interesting about it is the cycles at UFC. His early days, it were more jiu-jitsu guys that doing well. Then it transferred into
kickboxers and Muay Thai and
wrestlers. Wrestlers for years did really well. Then it went to strikers, And then it's kind of moved on a bit more into Dagestanis, into wrestling, grappling type. And then it's kind of moving again now, isn't it? With Sugar Sean and Izzy and more stand-up guys.
Yeah. Well, no,
it's evolving all the time.
Well, that's it. Now it's becoming now they're becoming superstars, aren't they? You know what I mean? And you don't become a superstar by fucking tackling somebody and trying to get an armbar. You become a superstar by doing a fucking overhand right and knocking somebody out and walking away, don't you? So there's always going to be fighters that are looking to enter UFC for that level, and there's always going to be fucking brilliant wrestlers, and as they say, styles make fights, and it's not always a good wrestler that beats a good fucking puncher, and it's not always the other way around, and that's what makes UFC so fucking brilliant, because
that's what MMA is such a good sport.
You know, it's fucking everybody thinks they know what's going to happen, and we get surprised almost every fucking week by something. So long may that continue, man.
Are you missing Sugar Sean out, or?
I'm Sugar Sean's going to take over, mate. He's going to fucking
no,
beat
what about predictions?
We're still on that, yeah? All right. I forgot about that. Where did we
last
get
one,
to?
last one.
Did we get to one? We did. All right, so Sugar Sean O'Malley against Marlon Cheeto Vera. I think that Sugar Sean will make the necessary...
There's no point asking you, so yeah.
Well, I think he'll make the necessary...
Come on, Jesus Christ, we're wasting time. Come on.
I think he'll make the necessary adjustments. I don't think them calf kicks are going to take him so more. I think he's grown as a fighter since the last time he fought Cheeto Vera. I think he got to choose his first opponent, did Sean O'Malley, and I think he could have chosen a more difficult one. And I think I don't blame him for wanting to avenge his only loss, but I think it's also it might be a little get out. I'll fight number 5 rather than number 2, and fucking get a defense on my belt. And I do think he'll have enough.
You can see why he's done it. I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah. For both reasons, you can see why he's doing it, to preserve his record and to avenge the only loss, which I do think is a little bit dubious, but I think it were a legitimate loss, but it is a bit dubious, and I think he'll avenge it, and I think he'll deserve to avenge it, because I think he's underrated, and I think the fact that how many bonuses he's got does fucking spell to that. But I think once he gets through Marlon Vera this weekend, I think he is then going to start struggling, especially if he comes up against Mirab, or he's been fucking mouthing off about stepping up and going against Ilia Topuria and stuff like that. They're both very good fucking boxers, and it would be a good fucking fight to have. But yeah, I think this might be a ceiling if he gets one defense, and then we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, that is my opinion. I think he will get through Cheeto Vera, and then we'll see.
Well, right at the beginning of the show, that's what I was trying to get across really earlier on. The next few fights for me, you'll see how much of a superstar Sugar Sean is there.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, if you look at Marlon Cheeto Vera, he's lost to Song, he's lost to Aldo, he's lost to Sanderhagen. And I think that maybe did he get lucky? Who knows? We'll find out. But I think he ain't quite there, is he? He seems to get to top guys at Vera. And he's ranked number 5, but he's not quite good enough. So I actually think that Sugar Sean will finish him.
Yeah, I do. I think he'll get. I think he'll be more wary of them kicks, and I think he'll land one of them fucking. I think one of them punches, and I think he'll take him down.
Yep, I agree.
Whether he's got enough to do that against Dvalishvili later on is another question. But against Cheeto Vera, I think he probably will.
I agree.
What do you reckon, Rich?
As most of the time, I do agree with you, because I can't see Vera winning this.
You can't see it.
No, I just can't see it.
Good lad, because I don't care what people say. I'm on board. I'm on board the Sugar Show, and if you are what you say you are, a superstar, let's fucking bring it on, mate. I'm on board the Sugar Show. Let's fucking rock it up, boys. Let's fucking rock it up. Why not have a bit of entertainment in there, man? You know what I mean? And he's bringing it a minute. He's a fucking UFC darling. He's got Dana White privilege. He's got all the fucking shit. And why not? Let's fucking bring the show. Let's bring the fucking show. So, thank you very much for listening to us again for this No Bones preview of UFC 299. We appreciate it. We are available all over YouTube, all over Spotify, all over Instagram, all over Apple Podcasts, all over that. Please give us a like. Please give us a follow. We're going to set up a email soon enough for you to get in touch to ask questions, so we can sort of field them off and see what you guys think, and see what if we agree or if we disagree, and we can get into all that. As I say, we appreciate everything you give us, and we'll keep coming as long as you want us. Thank you very much from me and Matt. See you later.
Yeah, thanks guys. Cheers for the t-shirt again, Tom. Really appreciate it.
And cheers for me, Rich. Bye.
Good night.
The No Bones Podcast.